guys, it is one and only Faith here, and I am back on YouTube. I know it has been probably several years since I've been back. I think my last vlog I did when I was like 21 years old, and I am 24 now, and it has been a total journey. So I wanted to come back to YouTube. For all you all who don't know, I am an anchor and reporter. I work in the state of Mississippi, and I think it's about time now that I feel like I know myself a little bit more, so I'm able to come back and kind of talk to you all a little bit more. So this last few years of my life have been crazy. From everything from going through Harvey, we lost most of our stuff in our home, to rebuilding that, to deciding to quit my job, going broke, and then now to where I am, which is I am an anchor, actually out on TV now.
Right now. Okay. A little, we got a little single.
So my journey started, I think I left off, I was in college and I was living it up, living my best life, and I graduated college. So once I graduated college, it was a long process. I became a full-time caretaker of my grandmother. I did that for 9 months for my grandmother. My grandmother ended up passing away, which is very sad for me. And then that's when, literally 2 weeks after my grandmother passed, we went through Harvey. And when Harvey happened, that is when we were out of our home for several months. For like 3 months we were out of our home. Harvey happened in July. We didn't get everything rebuilt until like October maybe, and that was just foundation. So we didn't get carpet and all of that stuff. We barely had a Christmas in 2017. It was awful, and it cost my parents a lot of money. And then that following year, actually right after Harvey, September, I got a huge blessing. I was able to start working in a news station. That was exciting. I was like, yes, I'm gonna work my way up. I was a news assistant, so I was like a production assistant. So I helped getting everything ready. I was kind of worked in news, kind of helped them put scripts together, little things like that, just assistant work. And I was hoping that I would become a reporter after that, and I was never given that opportunity. Actually, I was going for morning news because if you know me, then you know I'm like deep, hop at the bub and bubbly, okay? So I wanted to do that, and then I didn't get that opportunity. So when I didn't get that opportunity, I quit my job, and I ended up quitting my job, putting in a 2-week notice. It was just like, I'm going for broke here. I want to make the best out of my situation, and I want to utilize my talent. This journalist who I used to know, his name was Jay Russell. Jay Russell told me, don't waste your talents. And I just felt like I knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment field. I knew I wanted to be on-air do storytelling. I knew I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to write scripts. I wanted to be a part of telling people a story, interviewing people. I knew that's something I wanted to do. So when that didn't happen and I quit that job, I went several months without a job. I was breaking down. I went through Christmas holidays broke. I completely, my savings account depleted. But then actually at the top of the year, I got a huge blessing. I got a call from a television station that I had not applied for, the Delta News, WABG, and I got a call, and they were just like, we want to hire you, we want to hire you. And it was like, oh my God, it took a few weeks, but we were able to work everything out, and that's how I ended up here. It was a lot of dark days, and now that I reflect, thinking about to where I am now, I have my own apartment, own car, everything in my name, good credit, bills paid, what's up? And now that I think back to everything that I went through, I'm just so grateful to God because I was in the most broken place. And I love this, her name is, she's an anchor in Atlanta, in 11 Alive. Her name is Francesca Amaker. And I just love her story because she talks about, applying, getting turned down. It took her 13 months before she landed her job. And she didn't get her first on-air gig until 2013. And then that's when she was a reporter. And then she was able to transition. And but now she's an anchor in 2019 at 11 Alive in a top 20 market. And it just shows that God is real, and don't mind your small start. Somebody will give you that opportunity, and I think that's what my journey is about. I think it's been a lot of instantaneous and a lot of things that we want to happen now. We want things to go a certain way, and it just doesn't. And I think that's my story for sure. I look at all my classmates, and my mom, she was telling me about one of Miss Allison, who's someone who I know since I was a child. Her son, who is my age, is engaged and he's building a house and he's an engineer for this big company. You know, that's not my story. Literally a year ago, I had no monies. So, but you know what? I know that God works on my own time and I can't compare myself to anyone else. And I just hope, you know, to encourage someone else out there who may be going through that same thing, who may not know or be like, dang, I'm not where I want to be. And it's just like, sometimes you're not going to be where you want to be because your way is not God's way, and God's way is always better. Okay, a word. Okay, but God's way is always better. And I know sometimes when we're going through things, we don't see the alternative, especially when you're 20s. 20s is a weird place to be. I feel like 30s and 40s really don't have that much expectations as far as, because it's a later level of sustainability that is there, that kind of like you're a lot more confident. But 20s is just like, am I supposed to be married? I'm supposed to have kids? I'm supposed to have a house? Am I supposed to have a car? Like, what am I supposed to do in my 20s? What is the exact blueprint? I was never one of those people who's just like, I was going to be married and everything by 25. That was never me. I know I'm a work in progress, but I just want to encourage somebody out there to stay on your journey and just know nothing came overnight for me, and I'm still not overnight. I'm in a small market. I'm 24 years old. There are some 24 years old who are doing way bigger things than me, but my journey is my own, and I appreciate it every day. And I made that sacrifice of quitting my job and stepping out on faith and being like, I know my worth and I know what I want to be. And I actually got an awesome opportunity to be an anchor. So I'm on television Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Fox on your adult news morning. So, you know, and I'm so grateful. So I know sometimes things can be tough and sometimes the vision may not be clear, but I look back to when I first started this years ago to where I am now, and it's crazy, you know. In 2015, I actually got the opportunity to intern for ABC 13 in Houston, and that was a huge thing for me. And just to look at where now I am today, 4 years later, I anchor and I do this. So, you know, I'm grateful to God. I have a college degree. I may not be financially and have everything, and I don't drive a Benz, and it's not this big lavish lifestyle, but I get to say every day I'm living in my purpose. And that's just the thing. It will, if you give God, I love, Lauren London says this is one of my favorite quotes. If you give God your best, he will meet you with the rest. Wherever you are, whatever you lack, God is right there for you. There will be people that come into your life that give you opportunities, and it's gonna happen. And I know sometimes you may not see it, but trust me, a year ago I was broken in tears, didn't know what I was gonna do, didn't really have the money to fund it, living with my parents, living off of my parents, and I had a college degree. But it's just like, now look at me, you know, I have my own bills, electric, everything. And you know, God, whatever you're going through, trust me, God is able to turn that situation around. And I know sometimes there can be some dark days, but if you just hold on to his unchanging hand, I sound like a preacher, he'll let whatever you believe in, the universe, whatever it is. If you have hope in your heart, your situation has no choice but to get better. If you just have hope in your heart, if you just believe, then it will get better. Because as long as you're not in that mind state, my situation is permanent. As long as you're not there, whatever situation you're in is temporary. It could change whether you're up here or you're down here. Anything in life can change instantaneous. And just know that, and whenever you're going through things, just keep positive, stay strong. Like I said, I look at where I was a year ago, and I look at where I am today. I look at where I was 4 years ago, starting my internship. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, like the station was so big, the studio, everything, all the on-air talents. I was like, oh my God. And you know, I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still figuring it out. I feel like I'm just as lost though sometimes, but sometimes I'm giving it to God, and I live every day grateful. So I just want to encourage somebody and share a little bit of my journey with you all. I'm hoping to post at least every week and get more things done. Just a little bit of encouragement. Y'all like my shadow? But yes, guys, y'all have a blessed day, and wish you all the best. See ya. Peace, love, and abundance. That's what. Let's do this again. See you all later. Peace, love, and abundance. Sickening, right? Sickening.